I had a background in civil rights issues that came to a large degree from my involvement in something called the Armor Automation Committee. The Armor Meatpacking Company and the unions they dealt with created this committee, and they appropriated some money for it to deal with problems of automation, which largely involved the closing of plants and what happened after that. So I was involved in a number of these things, and I had an experience I'll always remember. There was a plant was closed in Fort Worth. So we went down to Fort Worth, myself, the person who was working with me, the management representative, and the union representative, who was a very able guy, happened to be black. We go down to the hotel, and I step up and I ask for my room. They said, "We have a nice suite for you," and I signed up. Management guy, "Yeah, we have a room for you." Labor guy steps up, and they said, "I'm sorry, we don't have any room left." And so he did something none of us had thought to do. He whipped out his confirmation of a reservation. And the clerk was a little annoyed, so he went back, consulted with somebody, and came back out again. He said, "I'm sorry, we have no reservation." And I said, "Well, you gave me a suite, so that has 2 rooms, so there is a room. Put an extra bed in that suite, and he'll have a room." And the clerk was sort of startled, and so he registered him. It was the first time a black person had gotten registered in that hotel. And I thought to myself, you read about discrimination, but I experienced it, so I know it's real. And then, of course, we saw in our work that a lot of the people that were displaced were black. And so we worked with them, and we got to know them some, and their skills and their abilities. We had some very dramatic experiences that had an impact on me. So when it came to taking action to change the situation, that felt very natural to me. And the Philadelphia plan was about the building trades, with whom I got along fine. But in the building trades, there were no blacks in the skills. And so the Philadelphia plan said, you don't have quotas or anything, but it just said you gotta hire some people, and you ought to have an objective, and you ought to have a timetable. Get some. That's the way you manage anything. Manage that. And of course, it became very controversial. And I remember there was a vote about it, and I was called up to testify. And I looked up, and here the counsel that was going to question me was a lawyer that I knew, very distinguished, powerful guy. I said, "Oh my God, what's he going to do to me?" And he said, "You're installing a quota system." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm replacing one." He said, "What do you mean you're replacing one?" I said, "There's been a quota system here for a long time. The quota is 0. It's been very effective. So we're trying to dispose of a quota system, not create one." Anyway, we had the argument, and we won on a Senate vote. And I have over there hanging on my wall the tally sheet kept by the Republican leader in the House then, Hugh Scott. But President Nixon backed me in this. I had discussed it with him, of course, and he stood right with me.